The 6th century Church of Holy Wisdom is closing. They're expecting a big earthquake and they want to maintain the church. This is in Istanbul, and it used to be called Constantinople. We know that Saint Constantine established this city, named it after himself, in Byzantium, where he also declared the freedom of worship for the Christians. So this is a 6th century church that has been, after the fall of Constantinople, turned into a jami, a mosque. And let's not forget that they're expecting a very major earthquake in this area, in the city, and that's why they're closing the Church of Holy Wisdom of God one by one to strengthen its foundations. The Turkish seismologists say this every 2 or 3 years. The Anatolian fault is lurking, and the geologists in Turkey are thinking about removing the minarets. These are the, as you can see, those 4 towers from which the callers sing out the hymns. They want to remove the minarets, which were not always there. They were turned into they were built after the church was built, was turned into a mosque in the mid 15th century. They want to remove the minarets, seeing what happened in the recent devastating earthquake in Turkey, let alone what happened to the plasters inside of the Church of Holy Wisdom that they want to peel them off from the huge walls and what is revealed underneath, hence the entire history of the 1,000-year Christian empire. Now, we know that after this was turned into a mosque, all these things you see there in the middle of the dome there, you see the Virgin Mary holding the baby Jesus. All this was under plaster. When the church was taken by, when the city fell, they removed, well, they wanted to actually remove the icons, but the mother of the conqueror, Mehmet, was a Christian Orthodox, and she asked him, instead of tearing down the icons, to plaster them over. So when the plaster started falling apart, that's when they realized that all these mosaics were beautiful. And if you ever visited, I've gone to Istanbul 3 times, and if you visit the Church of Holy Wisdom, it's as if these beautiful frescoes, mosaics were made yesterday. They're in such good condition. But so the plasters are peeling off, and the entire history of the Christian, the Roman Empire, Constantine, the Christian era is revealed. Now the Church of Holy Wisdom finally closed it because it's not possible to carry out such large-scale maintenance and anti-seismic strengthening work on the building as announced, and also have tourists and other people walking around inside. Everything else is a fumar of the Sultan, who's trying to avoid the reaction of the people there and the owners of shops with tourist items in the city. Of course, they don't want to this was originally a church, as we know. Now, in other words, the first announcement is also a true one, that is the Hagia Sophia, the Church of Holy Wisdom, is closing. And a friend told the civil engineer, expert in large projects of maintenance and restoration of static buildings, that we, along with you, thank him because he showed us light on what was going on. So, what are they trying to maintain inside the Church of Holy Wisdom? They could find more mosaics. They could find and search above ground and underground for arcades of the secret gate. They say there's secret tunnels underneath and chambers that, well, you know, all these ancient buildings used to have escape tunnels, and they could find them. Now, 24 hours ago, information was circulating through social network that the Church of Holy Wisdom has been operating since the year 2020 as a mosque and is to be closed for 50 years due to maintenance work. So over 2 generations it will be closed for maintenance work. And the Center for Combating Disinformation Directorate of Communication of the Turkish Presidency denied the rumors today, referring these are untrue. The decision to close the Church of Holy Wisdom in order to carry out maintenance work, as announced by the capital of Turkey, Ankara, has been the subject of discussion in Istanbul for the last few hours. The announcement refers to the start of maintenance, seismic protection, and restoration products of the historic Christian place of worship, which has been operating as a mosque since the year 2000. The projects in question, according to the state officials, are expected to last for many years, possibly even for 2 generations, as the news published by the Directorate Communications of the Turkish Presidency typically states. So, in other words, Turkey today within a few hours refute its minister and itself and pours water into its wine to make the vinegar by saying the Turkish president himself denies it. Erdogan himself tells us that he knows that by continuing to reveal announcements, a rebuttal of Turkish Presidency Communication Directorate says that claim that the restoration of the Church of Holy Wisdom Mosque, he calls it, will take 50 years and will be closed for worship and visits during this period is not true. The first stage is expected to be completed January 2024 and the second stage in 3 years. So it's not going to take that long. In conclusion, is that some people were alarmed by the impact this news had. It remains to be seen what else the Fox will come up with in communication game. So this is translated from a Greek article. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.